The Naked Gun, 2025. This stars Liam Neeson and it's produced by Seth MacFarlane. And so I had an idea what it might be like, but I wasn't sure how funny or not it would be. So I've seen one of the earlier Leslie Nielsen Naked Gun films, the sequel. Um, this is a sequel to Naked Gun 33 and a Third, The Final Insult, and I don't think I've seen that. I probably saw the very first of the, um, the first one, whatever that was called, Naked Gun, I guess. Um, and this with Liam Neeson is, um, Leslie Nielsen, gotta get the name right. Um, Leslie Nielsen's Frank Drebin. Um, it's Frank Drebin Jr., as in his son. So he's now in the police squad. It's all updated to the 2020s. So the Naked Gun 33 and the Third was 1994, I think. So there's been more than 30 years gap. And um, the police squad hit a problem really early on. It's threatened with closure because a sort of botched takedown that Frank Drebin Jr., Liam Neeson, was involved in. And all of it is surreal humor. So it's like the bank heist takedown is it starts off with it looks like a little girl riding by a bank whilst there's a siege going on. Police all gathered outside, shouting at this girl on the scooter to just get out of the way because this has happened. But she goes into the bank, except of course it isn't. I mean, this is right at the start, so it's not a spoiler, and it appears in the trailer. Um, the the girl sort of takes off a mask, and it turns out it's Frank Drebin Jr. And he goes about uh, trying to take down this heist single-handedly, and this is where all problems arise. So that's how the film is set up at the start. But oh gosh, so the the surreal nature of it is just amplified throughout the film. Um, so to give some examples from the trailer, because I think that's probably the best way um, of describing it without spoiling it. There's a scene where he's in arm-to-arm combat with a adversary, and he actually takes off the arms of the adversary, and it's not very bloody, but he uses those arms to beat up this adversary. I mean, so it's kind of like just unbelievably mocking of everyone, but you take it as it is. It's just surreal humor. That's just the nature of it. So if you let if you take it as anything goes, then the whole thing is pretty funny in that sort of eye rolling. Well, just about anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Everything that is interpreted, the way words are interpreted wrong. If there's a joke in it, you can imagine there's teams of comedy writers pulling apart just about anything and updating it from whatever the humour was like 30 to 40 years ago when the earlier um, Naked Guns series were made. And I think it is done well for what it is. It's just like another example is, yeah, he's just driving along. Liam Neeson's character, Frank Drebin Jr., driving along the road in his car when with the window open and someone hands a coffee to him whilst he's driving. He says thanks. It's just like, you know, it's breaking the fourth wall in a sense. I mean, there's some more breaking the wall, fourth wall stuff right at the end. I mean, there are clips right through. I mean, if you're going to watch the trailers, the not the trailers, the credit roll at the end, do stay right to the end. A few people, I was the only one left who in the cinema because I always do that. Um, they were saying right at the very end, but no one else saw it apart from me in the screening I attended. So there's sentimental police officers, detectives talking in a row, all talking to photos of their fathers. All of them, apart from one, Norbert. Don't know. Um, that's probably an in joke that I didn't understand. So I'd probably have to see the whole series to understand. He shakes his head. He's not participating, but everyone else, they're upset. They're missing their dads. But um, it's that kind of thing. There's with Frank Drebin Jr. He's eating a lot of food whilst he's driving, and then he gets tummy trouble, and he carries on eating. It's just like, and he's needs a toilet. And Vice is going to get to the front of the queue. So it's that kind of, it's taking everything to the limit, the nth degree. He says, please take a chair to Pamela Anderson's character. She plays Beth Davenport, who contacts him, or just turns up out of the blue in the police station, won't take no for an answer. And the reason she wants to talk to Frank is because she believes her brother was murdered. I mean, he was driving an electric car at Malibu, road traffic accident. The car ends up on its roof. He's dead. And when Frank Jr. turns up, he says, "Oh, it's he took his own life." But Beth um, has evidence, or she strongly believes that he's not, and she takes that to him, and he promises to investigate. And this is where, I mean, that first joke, when he meets her, he says, "Take a chair." Of course, that's really milked because it's like a joke that was on a 70s sitcom. I remember. Awful. I mean, it wouldn't be appropriate these days, but it's called Mind Your Language, and there was a scene in that with someone taking a chair because of misinterpretation of language. Um, so, there's some jokes, but of course, it's been updated a bit. She takes a chair right through. Oh, I'm going to take this chair. Takes it through the police department. It's just like, yeah, all right. It's really, well, I don't know. You're really milking it, but and um, it's like this sort of thing that my mum came to this country, and when she first got told take a chair, she thought, "What, literally take it?" I mean, because that's how take a chair. Oh, she didn't realise it was an expression, but that is the whole point about English sayings. They don't make sense, so you just take that to the nth degree. So the humor is like just um, scattergun. Anything that can be made into a joke is made a joke. So it's a laugh a minute, it's laugh every few seconds, really, if you take everything as funny. And some of it probably will miss because it's like, ew, and it's just like it's very most of the characters are men, I would say, and it's like that sort of cis straight humor. I mean, a lot of it is funny. I found a lot of it funny, but some of it I thought, yeah. I mean, like this, like um, he's interviewing someone again. This is all from the trailer. Um, oh, you're in, you've been inside for 20 years for man's laughter, manslaughter. It's just like. Ugh. Eye rolling over rolling stuff, but yeah, kind of funny. Um, infrared camera, someone like uh, spying on him because one of his adversaries looking with binoculars into his apartment, and he's with Beth. And they've got the curtains open, and at one point they draw the curtains. That's what people tend to do of an evening. They don't, anyone can see in. So he draw he draws the curtains. So the adversary gets out infrared cameras, infrared night seeking, heat seeking. Well, yeah, infrared. So you can see what's going on. But of course, it's lacking this perspective, and it shows scenes that look pretty lewd, and it isn't lewd because, again, it's shown in the trailer. Um, um, Beth is cleaning the cooker, but it looks like she's doing something else because she's got a sort of plunger and I don't know. I mean, watch the trailer. You get a good idea of what the humour's like from the trailer. The actual film is like the trailer, but it's um, over an hour and a half of all this stuff. It's just like continuous throw everything at the wall, mud will stick. A lot of it might catch your humour if you've got a similar sense of humour to me. Some of it will probably just cause you to roll your eyes and you think, no, I've seen that before. But it might, because of the way it's delivered, it might still appeal. So if you think about it a lot, it probably becomes less funny. So just don't. It's intended to be enjoyed for its ridicule. And yeah, it is an an update of that old style ridiculousness. Um, and originally I was minded to score it about 7.5, but because I was laughing a lot, and I remember I haven't seen Mark Commode's review, but I'm going to watch it after I finish this. Um, but he's often said about his measure for humour when he talks with um, Simon Mayo. He often says, if you laugh 6 times in a film, it's a successful comedy. Six laughs during a film, yeah, a comedy film is good comedy. And yeah, I laughed many more times than six. I mean, I didn't absolutely belly laugh that many times. The audience did a few times really laugh, and sometimes it is a bit contagious. I thought, yeah, I mean, yeah, there was this, yeah, one of the funny scenes. It isn't in the trailer, so shall I say it? Well, it's about, yeah, I'll say it just because I think it was contagious. It was just like the humor was really. I thought very funny because, um, um, one of the people that, Frank arrests and, um, the, the perpetrator says, "Oh, you've done this before," and he says, "Well, I've arrested 1,000 people," and he says, "Well, um, these were the circumstances," and he says, "Oh, okay, in which case 100 people," and he narrows it down, and one of the things he says, um, well, the, uh, the, um, the main perpetrator, I think the main perpetrator was white, in this arrest, and then, of course, that narrows it down to just one person out of these many people, and, you know, a lot of people laughed in the audience. I mean, it wasn't a massive audience, but say 20 people, I think majority were laughing at that in Wood Green. I think that's, but it was funny, and, I I felt more like laughing because everyone else was laughing as well. I just thought, yeah, there there was some really good humour in it. So, yeah, it deserves 8.5. Love to know what you think about this. Please like if you like this review. Uh, Thanks if you subscribe. Please leave your comments and hit the notification button. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.